Was what was that? What was that? Seriously, just a Christmas special? I I'm kind of flabbergasted right now. The Christmas really? I mean, Doctor Who is one thing, but in fact, it actually makes perfect sense with Doctor Who. But that's aside the point. American Horror Story Asylum Christmas special. Okay. Um, that was just weird. I mean, that was certainly the most bizarre and probably my least favorite episode so far. Just because of the fact that just it came off really jarring and not in a good way. Um, not a huge fan of the fact that the aliens came back at the end to get Grace's body. I'm just not a huge fan of the aliens. I still think the alien thing doesn't make any damn sense, but whatever. Um, yeah, the alien thing doesn't make any sense. Um, what else do we have here? Yeah, I'm the Immortal Cave and Sam Trust on Blogspot.ca. Yeah, spoilers. Sorry. Should have said that a little earlier, but I'm very, very confused right now, so you'll have to forgive me. Um, here's my big problem with this episode. It's not so much the alien thing, though that is weird. The biggest problem with this episode is the fact that it goes back to that pattern I talked about a couple episodes ago, where I mentioned you know the patient of the week shows up, something happens, and at the end, nothing really ends up getting better because of it. Sister Jude is back, but what really became of it, I'm still not sure. Like, I'm not really sure what's going to happen here. She killed the Santa Claus killer. Will that be seen as self-defense and nothing will happen of it? Will she just get kicked out again? Is she back because she talked to the head nun lady? I don't know what her name is. I don't know. I honestly don't. And the fact that in the end of it, I just think it's going to end up being she's got kicked out again because it got seen as self-defense, and Sister Eunice, aka Lucifran, is still running the show, and then basically we're back at episode 3 because Lana's still is in the asylum again, and Kid is in the asylum. So the only difference is Grace is dead and Sister Jude's not working there anymore. And by the way, can I just add, I'm gonna try and keep this one actually fairly short because I want to try and get to the next episode as soon as I can. I want to try and crank through these last couple episodes because I got Murder House and Coven, and I do want to go through those as well. I'm gonna go through Murder House first, I think. Then I'll go through Coven, and then once Freak Show comes out, I'll go through that. Again, I am enjoying this series quite a bit. I do like it, but I am still very some of these are still very. But anyway, yeah, like I was saying before, I got completely distracted. Yeah, there was the stuff with nothing really happening, but then the real kicker is the fact that I think they're trying to make the doctor, Dr. Arden, I believe his name is. If I get some of these names wrong, again, it takes me a while to remember names. Long story. Um, Dr. Arden. They're trying to turn him into a good guy, I think. Feeling remorse for what's going on in the story, and feeling, going to Sister Jude about Lucifran and all this stuff. He's a Nazi rapist. And they're trying to make him a good guy? What? Like, I'm sorry, but the second I found out he was for the frickin' SS, I pretty much threw him away. If they're legitimately trying to make him a good guy, good luck to you. But there were still a lot of good psychological elements. There were still a lot of good moments. For instance, when Dr. Bloodyface, his name's not coming to me right now, but when Bloodyface showed back up at the asylum, mentioning something about the newspapers showing like lady returned to asylum or something like that, which didn't make any sense since they were kind of always leaning towards the fact that there was no news about it, but that's beside the point. Um, they did have a moment where he showed back up, tried to kill her, and then Kit broke in, knocked him out. And then they have a moment where he needs to stay alive to prove Kit's innocence, but of course, if he stays alive any longer, Lord knows what might happen. And Lana wants to kill him for that exact reason. So this opposing force kind of thing, I like. The fact that they've made a little like fort in one of the unused rooms down in like the cellar, the pits, or whatever you want to call it, and they're keeping him in there. I like that. I actually think that's a pretty good idea, and that's probably one of the better things. There's also a lot of really good psychological stuff as well. So I'm not going to complain too much about the episode. There were good things. This was my least favorite episode so far, but mostly because of the fact that the Christmas imagery and the fact that it's a Christmas special is really, really, really effing jarring. Just, who decided that was a good idea? Like, for the religious imagery, it worked a little tiny bit. But other than that, it just felt weird. So, but anyway, I'm off to the next episode, and I'll see you then.